During a previous live stream, some of you came up with ideas for potential future mission givers, and that got my old brain machine upstairs working, the old gears churning after the cobwebs went away. Eventually, I think that we're going to see more characters from Red Dead Redemption 2 featured in Red Dead Online. We've already seen that happen with Thomas, along with the pig farmer siblings, and of course we have Sadie and her husband Jake. Sadie featured heavily in Red Dead Redemption 2, and we see what life was like for Sadie before the events of Red Dead Redemption 2, along with her husband Jakey up in the snow. So I think it's very plausible that we're going to see more characters featured from Red Dead Redemption 2 somewhere down the road in future updates for Red Dead Online. By the way, if you have any characters from Red Dead Redemption 2 or even Red Dead Redemption 1 that you would like to see eventually featured as a mission giver, either as a free roam stranger mission or part of a new arc similar to the Land of Opportunity missions, feel free and let me know your ideas below in the comment section. So first off, let's address the Linde Gang. With a few exceptions like Trelawney and Sean, most of the Dutch Linde Gang at this point are still out west. They're somewhere out west. We don't know how far away they are, but I doubt we're going to see most of them as future mission givers in Red Dead Online, because as of right now, the events of Red Dead Online take place prior to the events of Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, similar to Grand Theft Auto Online, Rockstar may eventually change that and shift the timeline, because at first in Grand Theft Auto Online, it was before the present-day 2013 events of Grand Theft Auto 5, but eventually, Rockstar shifted it to quote-unquote present day in Grand Theft Auto Online. So they could do something along similar lines, maybe move the timeline for Red Dead Online up from late 1897, 1898 to 1900s, maybe prior to 1907. So there are a few members of the Dutch Linde Gang that could actually be featured in Red Dead Online as potential mission givers, whether it's part of their own story arc similar to Land of Opportunities or simply as free roam stranger mission givers. Two of them that I'll bring up right now include Charles, who would obviously be an honorable free roam mission giver. The reason why Charles would be a good choice is because he hasn't been with the Linde Gang for a very short period at the start of Red Dead Redemption 2. I believe he'd only been in the gang for like 6 months. So as of right now in Red Dead Online, in the time period prior to Red Dead Redemption 2, he's still out there somewhere, not part of the Linde Gang. So you could see Charles as a mission giver, honorable. And then everybody's favorite character of all time in Red Dead history, Myka Bell, who I think is also a latecomer to the Linde Gang. I think if you go by the Red Dead Online timeline, he's probably also not currently a member of the Linde Gang. I could be wrong about that, but Myka Bell could also be a stranger mission free roam mission giver. We already have his good friend Joe. We could also see Cleet somewhere down the road as a mission giver. So why not Myka Bell? And obviously, he would be a very, very honorable mission giver. No, he wouldn't. Okay, so moving on to some other characters that we encounter throughout the events of Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm going to try and keep things as spoiler-free as possible for those of you that haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2. Here's one character that a lot of people really want to do some work with because he probably would pay well. Angelo Bronte, the godfather of organized crime in Saint Denis. He would be a great mission giver, or else he could be an important part of similar Land of Opportunities story arc. So he would be a good mission giver for that. You also got the Greys and the Braithwaites, like Catherine Braithwaite. She would be a good mission giver, along with the head of the Greys, Tavish Gray, along with his brother, Sheriff Lee Gray. So those characters, you could have our own variation of the Braithwaite Gray feud, where we're thrown in the middle of that prior to the events of Red Dead Redemption 2. And we could do work for the Braithwaites as well as the Greys. Now, there is one group in Red Dead Online from Red Dead Redemption 2 that I very much like to see added. Currently, they're not there, but they should be. And maybe Rockstar has plans to add the Wapiti tribe, because that was one of my favorite story arcs in Red Dead Redemption 2, spending time with the Wapiti, Rains Fall, Eagle Flies, along with Peta, and of course Captain Monroe. All four of them would be fantastic mission givers, and maybe, just maybe, Rockstar has plans to make that its own like story arc, similar to, like I said, Land of Opportunities. Maybe we go in and we help Captain Monroe get the Wapiti tribe settled, and then we do missions for Rains Fall. He would probably be honorable, and I don't know how Peta would play in. Would he be honorable, or would he be somewhere in the middle? Because some of the mission givers, like Trelawney and Hamish, they're kind of in the middle. Sometimes they'll give you an honorable mission. Sometimes they'll give you a dishonorable mission. So maybe Peta can be like that. I would say for the Wapiti tribe, Eagle Flies would be a good dishonorable one. Because even though he's trying to do right by his people, once again, without throwing out too many spoilers, he goes about it the wrong way. Like where his father, Rainsfall, just wants peace. He wants his people to be left alone. Eagle Flies has that old Native American warrior spirit, and he's willing to fight in order to protect his people. He's willing to do whatever's necessary to protect the Wapiti tribe. And that was where maybe he crosses the line a little bit, and maybe that's where you could find the dishonorable Wapiti missions with Eagle Flies. Then some more mission givers that would come up. These guys are probably dishonorable. Working for the Pinkertons. Agents Milton and Edgar Rossi. So we could do some Pinkerton-themed missions as well for Milton and Ross, maybe help them out with a few cases, some mysteries, some crimes being committed. Gee, I wonder by who? Could it be some of the very players in Red Dead Online? Nah, we're all innocent as flowers, right? So yeah, missions from Milton and Edgar Ross would be good, as well as Marco Dragic. Now, I think that Marco Dragic could very well be part of a future wild and crazy steampunk-themed update for Red Dead Online, because he's the Tesla of the game. He's the inventor. He's the genius. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that when he comes along in Red Dead Online, I think that he may usher in some very interesting, quote-unquote, technology that will become a thing in Red Dead Online. And hopefully that will not include some sort of flying Oppressor Mark II variation of a horse. I mean, if it's a Pegasus, it's one thing, because I'm all about eventually them adding mythical beasts like the Horses of the Apocalypse, unicorns, zombie horses, etc. But no steam-powered horses with rocket launchers or Gatling guns or Maxim guns, please. Thank you, Rockstar. So Marco Dragic could end up being a mission giver, as well as somebody that we could eventually get some quote-unquote steampunk weaponry from. Going down to Saint Denis once again, so along with Angelo Bronte, this could tie in with Angelo Bronte because the mayor, Henry Lameau, and his lieutenant, Jean-Marc Mechier, is, I guess they have ties and relations, along with another character we'll bring up in a moment. So you could see the mayor of Saint Denis and his lieutenant being important mission givers as well. And then that brings us to Mr. Leviticus Cornwall. You know him, you hate him. He's a big, giant captain of industry, robber baron type. And I'm sure he would pay rather well. And that would probably be kind of a similar Land of Opportunities arc as well, where we could do missions for Mr. Cornwall or through Mr. Cornwall's associates, lieutenants, lackeys, everyone that's on the take, right? So maybe everything ties back to Mr. Cornwall. And the one upside about working for him is money and gold, right? Getting paid rather well. So a couple other suggestions I have are maybe some honorable missions to kind of balance out some of the dishonorable characters we've added. So the mayor, Jean-Marc, kind of in the middle. I think the mayor does try to do good, but he also is kind of corrupt as well. But let's add some honorable characters in there, right? Some honorable characters in Saint Denis. Sister Calderon, which is important character in the Red Dead franchise from both Red Dead Redemption 2. She was also in Red Dead Redemption 1. Not going to spoil anything, but yes, Sister Calderon is one of those characters that exist in both Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2. And then, of course, Brother Dorkins. So you could do some honorable work for both of them, and you can accomplish those missions by dishonorable means, of course. So Sister Calderon and Brother Dorkins will be good honorable mission givers. And my final character I'm going to include is Nigel. Yes, Gavin's friend Nigel. I just had to include him. I prefer calling him Gavin's friend, okay? Now, some of you may know, spoilers, a small taste of spoilers, a little spoiler spice. There's a character throughout the events of Red Dead Redemption 2 that you will encounter numerous times, which we call, affectionately, Gavin's friend, who is looking for his dear sweet friend Gavin. And from Valentine to Rhodes, to Saint Denis, and elsewhere, you will find his friend going around screaming for Gavin, asking for Gavin. And it would just be hilarious if we would encounter Nigel in various locations throughout Red Dead Online, and he would send us on missions to try to find his friend Gavin. Every time it would end in failure, but we would still be paid, money and XP and gold, and it still would be hilarious if we had Gavin's friend as a mission giver in Red Dead Online. So there you go, some characters from Red Dead Redemption 2 that I think would be good future free roam stranger mission characters, or maybe even arced in their own variation of the Land of Opportunity missions, because I think eventually that story arc is going to end, and I believe that Rockstar will just start simply a new quote-unquote Land of Opportunity mission set. I don't know what they would call it, but they would probably give it its own separate name. It would be its own separate entity. But then again, maybe Land of Opportunities just continues. Once the Leclerc arc is over, then they start with the Bronte arc or the Wapiti arc or somewhere along those lines. If you like any of those characters for potential, free roam stranger missions and are their own like PvE story arc missions, or if you have any other suggestions from Red Dead Redemption 2, feel free and leave them below in the comments section.